back to Teacup Castle. Welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. Welcome back to Man City's show. So we've looked at Liverpool, we've looked at United, we've looked at Spurs and Chelsea. Earlier today we had a good old look at Aston Villa. This evening we're taking a little look at Manchester City, and not just because of yesterday's match. We promised we were going to do Manchester City squad Monday evening. We set it in stone before the match ever even happened. So in case any Manchester City fans join us and feel I'm picking on ye, I'm not, but tonight's the night. We're talking about City. Tom is back! Welcome back to Tom. Oh goodness, Tom, we have missed you in the chat. Isn't it fantastic, everybody? I see Tom in the chat. Welcome back. Lovely to have Tom back in the chat with us. And we've had some super stickers. So Rob has sent us, let me see, the number one Foxy. So thank you very much to Rob. And All Boxed Up has unboxed Tom. Oh my goodness, surprise! Welcome back. Thank you very much to Rob. Thank you very much to All Boxed Up. And everybody, please welcome Tom back to the channel. We missed him. Roz is here as well. Hopes everyone is doing well. Guess talking about those gifted memberships she's promised at 1,000. We're so close to 1,000. When we get there, Guess has made a promise and she said she's going to keep it. But Roz, I said hello to Roz, and Daz, I see Daz. Guess obviously is here. I don't know who I've said hello to now and who I've missed. I don't know who I've missed. I think I've got everybody. Sorry if I missed anybody. I said All Boxed Up. No, I think I got everybody. I apologise if I've missed anyone, but my eyes just aren't what they used to be. There's so many colours. There's blues and greens. There's so many colours in the chat. It's wonderful. For anybody who is joining, who's new maybe to the channel or wasn't around when we set up the FPL, I've pinned the Fantasy Premier League link into the live chat. So if anybody wants to get involved, we've actually got loads and loads of people joining in the FPL. The closer we get to the season, the more people I am seeing joining into the Fantasy Premier League. Let me see who we've got, because we've loads and loads of people. Please do, guys, remember, whenever you are coming in, to please smash the like button. It does help us out greatly, and it just lets people know we're here, we're ready for the new season, and we would like you to join us at Teacup Castle for the upcoming season. So please do smash the like button. Tom is preparing his lineup. I might have to review mine, I'll be honest. I did mine when we first set up the FPL, and I haven't touched it since. And I don't know what my team is anymore, and I'm actually starting to doubt myself already. So I might have to have a little look at it there. My problem with FPL is I start off all right, and then I think I'm being clever, and I actually just make some really stupid decisions. I fall off, and then after the international breaks, I never come back. So this season, you lot are going to have to keep me on the straight and narrow, because I'm a disaster. But Harold is here as well. Hello to Harold, All Boxed Up, asking please hit the likes, people. Correct and right. But so far in the FPL, there's a whole rake of us. So there's obviously me, Paige is in it, Dibs is in it, Danny's in it, Irish Pit Terrier's in it, The Final Boss, our Harold's in it, Surreal McCoy's, Ryan the Mr. Arsenal podcast, our Huge is in it, Random's in it, Daz is in it, Mohammed, Palace, Rob, Bonkers, Ray, and Tom is going to be in it too. Now, if you don't want it, if you're not into FPL, do not worry about it. But anybody who does enjoy it, we're going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun. The numbers are climbing. There's going to be, and do you know what I find? The more people that are in it, the more you can sink into the background. Do you see if there's only like 4 or 5 people in it and you're doing really badly? It's very obvious. If there's loads of people in it, if you're doing really badly, you can sort of just float around in the background and pretend you're not. So the more people that do it, actually the less people notice you. So I'm hoping. Let me see. Bonkers says, personal terms agreed with Liverpool. Interesting. I think you might end up getting Mbaye instead of Barcola. If you just get both of those players out of PSG, I'll be impressed. I will be impressed. I just don't think you get both. So if it's moving forward with Mbaye, while it's stuck with Barcola, might you end up getting Mbaye instead? That'll be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. But thank you to Bonkers for bringing us that. Guess is saying, hit the like, it keeps the gremlins away. When you said that, do you know that saying? Maybe you don't have it. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. A like a day keeps the gremlins away. Love it. Love it. Right. Let us get stuck into the show, because there is actually loads to talk about. I am going to need you guys to help me out with this one, because a lot of the other ones I've been able to sort of pre-prepare. This one I was out and about running errands, because I'm a grown-up and errands are a thing apparently. Whether we want to or not, errands are in fact a thing. So I haven't had time to fully prepare this one the way I have with some of the others. But I've done a little bit of the groundwork. Obviously, one of the main things that's kind of, I suppose, setting the scene. Solid Blake is in the house, setting the scene. Solid Blake has sent the pair with the cup of tea, and look, I've got a cup of tea. So thank you very much to Solid Blake, just in time. Just in time. We've got all the nonsense out of the way, and we're about to do the deep dive into Manchester City, so perfect timing, and generous to boot. Thank you very much to Solid Blake. Did I see Solid Blake? Was it your birthday recently? Was it your birthday recently? Did I miss? I'm trying not to miss people's birthdays. Guys, it's Guess's birthday coming up this month. Let me double check. We're going to have to remember this together. I've put it on my phone so I don't forget. Let us. Guess's birthday. Everybody write this down, because she won't remind us. Guess's birthday is on the 26th of this month. So everybody remember, on the 26th, we have to wish Guess a happy birthday. Nobody let me forget. I've written it down, so I can't forget it. But I've written it on my phone, because I hope my phone's going to remind me. So, plenty of birthdays about the place. Bonkers has just had a wee cup of tea. All the tea going about the place. Yeah, of course I put it in my phone. How else was I going to remember? Why did you think I asked you that? So I could remember. At least you know if I forget, I tried really hard. So, obviously yesterday, Man City lost to Arsenal in the Community Shield. And then like a couple of hours later, we had the here we go for Rodri to Barcelona. Now, obviously that will have been decided way before the match happened. That would have been known and decided. And I would reckon potentially it was planned for Man City, thinking maybe they would win, and then they could announce that Rodri was going, and it would all be caught up together and it wouldn't really matter. But unfortunately for them, they didn't win, and it was like a double whammy instead. And the reason I think like that is because Man United do stuff like that. When they're about to give you bad news, they wait until something good is happening. And then when the good thing happens, they give you the bad news really fast so that you don't react as much. And then sometimes it just doesn't work out. So I think, and it's completely my theory, I think this was purposely planned for after the Community Shield, thinking that City were going to win and that it wouldn't be quite so stinky for them. And then they lost, and then it came out, and then it looked really bad. But I think the decision was made long before it ever come out. So Rodri, here we go. He's gone. He's away off to Barcelona. He's happy out. He's going back to Spain. To be fair, City have got a reasonable chunk for him. I mean, probably not as much as they would have liked, but given that he wanted to go to Spain, given that there was only a year left on his contract, it's not the worst deal in the world. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It probably, I think, in a normal window would be a reasonable deal. Because this window is so overpriced, it doesn't seem like a lot, if that makes sense. But I don't think it's the worst deal in the world. They look like they're set to bring in Buadi. Personal terms reached days ago, according to Fabrizio. And according to Fabrizio, also, Manchester City are now set to close a Buadi deal with Lille after selling Rodri to Barcelona. Haven't had the here we go yet, but I mean, it looks like it's going to drop at any moment. And obviously we know there's rumours around the Enzo Fernandez scenario. There's every possibility that might happen. I think with Rodri going, it looks ever more likely, but we don't know. I think Buadi is all but definite. I think with Fernandez, with Enzo Fernandez, I'm probably like 60-40, 60 that he goes, 40 that he stays at Chelsea, but I'm not like by any means convinced. Do you know what I mean? Buadi's away up at 90%. It's very, very close. That's sort of where I'm at. But what we want to do, in light of all of that, is have a look at their squad. Let me see. Yeah, so let me see. As I said, guys, I haven't had loads and loads of time to go through this, so we're going to do it together. But what I found, so it actually sickened me a little bit. I went on to the Manchester City website. I've never been on there before. And what's actually really disgusting, it's very well laid out. It's actually even better than the Chelsea one. This is the best laid out website that I've seen so far. So you go to the men's team and they literally have it by player, which is the way I prefer to see it. And then see anybody that's on loan. They've got a little yellow tab that says on loan. They're really very organised actually. And then they have a little number beside them. They're their full name. They have like the flag for where they're from. It's actually disgraceful how organised it is. And I love that kind of thing because I'm a bit of a weirdo. I like things to be organised. And so I went on and like the sky blue was making me like, ugh. And then I saw how nicely it was organised and I was like, oh no, this is terrible. So I hadn't even looked at the players and I thought it was rotten. But their squad's actually quite a bit smaller than I thought it was. I didn't realise they had such a small squad. I don't know if that was a thing that, I know some managers prefer to have a smaller squad, so I don't know if that was something that Pep liked. Maybe you guys can tell me. But I have to say, for me, I thought their squad was bigger. It's really not. So far, Chelsea's ginormous. Spurs have way too many, just not enough of the ones they actually need. United's is kind of not big, not small. It just has, again, with the wrong players. Liverpool, what did we say about Liverpool? They also needed people as well. They had too many. Villa's is tiny, absolutely tiny. Man City's is quite small. So we're going to go through it. We're going to have to work on it together because, as I said, I haven't had time to prepare all of these and I don't follow Man City like every step of the way. But it's not a massive squad. So, total, on their men's team page, they have 30 players, okay? Of those 30, 4 of them are currently on loan. So that brings them to 26. One of them is Rodri, who's going to be going. So that brings them to 25. And then 3 of them are under 21s. So they've actually only got 22 senior players. If we say then they look likely to lose Savinho to Spurs, that looks very likely to happen. So if we say Savinho goes out, but we're saying they look very likely to have Buadi in it, guys. I'm not saying these are like the same positions. I'm just saying in terms of numbers. So if we say, look, Savinho's likely to go, Buadi's very likely to come in. So let's put those down, but it just leaves the numbers still at 22. Then if we go down, there's been rumours about, who was the other one? Where's he after going? Yes, Jack Grealish, we don't know. I think Grealish is probably going to stay, if I'm honest. I think he's going to stay. I think Maresca wants to work with him. Is there anyone else? Tijani Reinders, do we think he goes or no? But if we just imagine, just say for the numbers wise, let's say that Reinders goes, because there's been lots of talk of him leaving. So we're playing pretend here. And then let's imagine Enzo comes in, because as I said, I don't think it's 100%, but I do think it's a lot more likely now with Rodri going, because who are they going to get in? And I also don't think Enzo's like, I don't think he can really replace Rodri, but I mean, I think it makes them more likely to go for Enzo. So let's just say, for the sake of things, let's just say that Savinho goes, Buazi comes in, Reinders goes, Enzo come in. Is Reinders already gone? Final Boss says Reinders. Is he Here We Go? Because he's still on their website. Obviously, they've not updated it yet. Did I not talk about the Reinders Here We Go the other day? I talk about so many things, I didn't know if I imagined it. So he is officially gone. Some clubs, yeah, there he is. We did literally speak about this. Thank you, Final Boss, for reminding me, because we did actually speak about this the other day. So, say Savinho out, Reinders out, and then say Buazi in and Enzo in, okay? That still leaves them with only 22 players. So they could have another 3. Yes, he's gone to Al-Qadsiya. We literally spoke about this the other day, I just forgot. Too many people, too many names. So 22 is more or less the number of players they've got in their squad. They have enough space for 3 more senior players if they wanted to. Now, I don't know, they don't seem that pushed on doing loads and loads of business, so maybe they won't, but they have that space if they want it. Now, what we need to see really is, what is their strength and depth like? What is their strength and depth like? Because really, it's not how many you've got, it's what you can do with them. So, at the back in goal, they've just signed a man by the name of Rodri. We spoke about that the other day, that he was signed. I am assuming he is going to be the backup instead of Trafford. So he was to replace Trafford. So they've got a chap called Bettinelli, who is their 3rd choice. So we've got Bettinelli. Then we've Rodri, who is the Trafford replacement. And then we have Donnarumma, who had a dreadful match yesterday. Then we look at left back. At left back, we have Nico O'Reilly, and we have Nori's left back as well, isn't he? I'm sure Nori is left back. And guys, this is where you are going to have to help me, because I'm just not all the way familiar with all the City's players. So I'm sure Nori is a left back. Nico O'Reilly definitely is. Although he's listed, they have him listed in their midfielders, but he's definitely been playing at left back. Let me see. Okay, so nobody's correcting me on Nori, so I'm writing it down. We're going to go, guys, the exact same way as we've gone with all of the other teams. So, one position at a time. So, we're going to go left back, centre backs, right back. We're going to work our way forward. So, until I get to those positions, I'm not going to talk about any other players, because then it gets really confused. So, right now, so we're putting down Nori. And they have Nico O'Reilly as a midfielder, but every time I see him, he's at left back. So I just assumed he was a left back that goes forward, but they have him listed. I'm putting him at left back because that's where he's actually, in reality, that's where I see him playing, like on their pitch. So that's where I'm putting him, O'Reilly. Now, then we have, is there anybody else? They have a young man. Now, he's not under 21. His name is Joshua Wilson Esprand. Esprand? He's number 97. Okay? He's 23 years of age, so he's not young. He is a City player, but he's been on loan. Now, what I want to know is, has he been involved in any of Man City's pre-season games, or is he likely to also go back out on loan again, is what I want to see. it's so hard with City because I just don't really pay that much attention to them. But this young man, he would be another left back. So he's probably very likely to go back out on a loan. I would suggest probably going to go back out on a loan. He'll go out on loan, says the final boss. That's what I reckon. So we're on the same page. If me and the final boss agree, it's obviously true. So we're putting him, Esprand, out on loan. We're going to just predict, which brings them down to 21. Such a small squad. Right. Then we go to 2 centre back. So centre backs, we have got actually quite a few. They've actually got quite a few centre backs at Manchester City. So, sorry, I'm just going back into the list of players. Come on. Hold on, sorry. They've got weird wee letters beside them. Ah, okay. So, centre backs. They've got Gvardiol. They've got Ruben Diaz. They've got Guehi. Kushinov. He played at right back the other day, but he is normally a centre back, isn't he, Kushinov? I'm putting him as a centre back. Vito Hayes, and I know he has played in their pre-season. I'm sure he has, and he's a centre back. Yeah, like the final boss there is saying Vito Hayes is liked internally and could stay. He had a decent loan at Girona. He is another centre back. Kushinov, centre back. They've like a bajillion centre backs. I'm putting Vito Hayes down as a centre back as well. Let's imagine he stays, because based on what you're saying there. Who else am I missing? So Nori, Max Elaine is on loan. Ruben Diaz, we've got Guehi, we've got Gvardiol, we've got Kushinov, we've got Rico Lewis. He's right back, isn't he? Rico Lewis. He's right back. Vito Hayes, centre back. And Wilson Esprand, we've said we think is going to go on loan. So they don't have a right back. They've got Rico Lewis, and that's it. Does anybody else play right back other than Rico Lewis? Obviously, Kushinov did yesterday in that match, but he is a centre back. So they've got Nori and O'Reilly at the left back. And then between the centre backs, they've got Gvardiol, Guehi, Kushinov, Diaz, and your wee man Vito Hayes. But then at right back, they've only got Rico Lewis. And Huge says he's terrible. Nunes. He's not listed here either. Have they put him in midfield? Yeah, so they've put both Nico O'Reilly and Mateus Nunes in the midfield section. Right, so that's what's happened. It looks lovely. It's badly organised. They've put Nico O'Reilly and Mateus Nunes into the midfield section of their website. So I've put down Rico Lewis and Mateus Nunes as right backs. Okay, fair. This is why I need your help, guys. Imagine all the other teams, I was able to go through these. Get to City and I'm like, what do you do? Who are you? Oh, I don't pay enough attention to City. I don't know what's going on. This is why I need to do these shows. And genuinely, this is how this whole thing started. Was I saw all the players for Chelsea and I was like, who are all of them? And I started looking into it and I was like, why don't we just look into it together? The final boss, because he is Brazilian. Vitor Reis. He's Brazilian. So that is how you would pronounce it. I'm not good at any of the other names, but the Portuguese names I can say. Yes, Lucky, we've already spoken about Buwadi at the start. We mentioned Buwadi and we mentioned Rodri and we mentioned potentially Enzo. What we're looking at the moment, though, is the players that they've got on their website and kind of how that would work then as well. Now, if we move then into midfield, they're actual midfielders. Right, so they've got Anderson, who's not very good if you're asking me. Anderson. Then Turkey is obviously on the wing. You've got Turkey. And then you've got Doku for the wing. They've got a young man by the name of Claudio Echeverri, who I think is under 21. So even if they keep him, he won't count, but he's probably going to go on loan. Then they've got Phil Foden, who is having a tough time of it as Phil Foden. Jack Grealish. I tried to write down the word Grealish and wrote wing. Let me see. Yeah, the $130 million man. Oh, it made me feel so much better seeing that match yesterday. Yes, bonkers. So Calvin Phillips is on loan. So they've got anybody that they have that's on loan. They've put a little loan beside their name. They're actually quite helpful that way. So they've got Calvin Phillips is on loan. Sver Pan is on loan. Max Allen on loan, and Pierce Charles, who would be a fourth choice keeper, all on loan. So none of those we have included. And I've removed Rodri as well, who they've obviously not had the chance to take off the website yet because they've not officially announced it yet. But all those, they are all done. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Just had to send that off. What else are we saying? Yeah, there is a lot of players to sort out, Lucky. You are correct and right. The final boss says, obviously, Nunez was meant to be that midfielder for them. Well, like that, he's gone in. They've put him in the midfield section. They have put him in the midfield section. So they were obviously hoping that that's where he was going to be. But let's go back to this list. Let's go back. So, after Jack Grealish, we have Kovacic. So, guys, Kovacic. Midfield. He's kind of box to box, Kovacic. He's considered a bit of both. Like he's not a 10, is he? He's a box to box, Kovacic. I mean, his number is 8, so I'm assuming. But I mean, let me know. Correct me. This one, you guys are completely in charge. I mean, pop, pass back. Yeah, absolutely. But Kovacic, I'm putting as midfielder. Kovacic will be kept, yeah. So I have to stop saying the positions because I'm writing their names, and as I'm writing their names, I'm writing midfielder. Yeah, central mid. Cool. Jeremy Monga, what age is he now? He's young, Jeremy Monga, yeah. So he won't count towards their quotient anyway because he's only a child. Then you've got Nico G. We've already listed Matheus Nunes at right back. The next 3 chaps on loan. We've got Nico O'Reilly at left back. Calvin Phillips is on loan. Tijani Reinders is gone, so we've removed him completely. Rodri is gone, remove him completely. Savinho looking likely to be gone. And we have put in Semenyo on the right. Apologies, guys. I put Cherki on the right. Cherki's 10, isn't he? Cherki plays more as a 10. We've got Savinho out on the right. Semenyo. Jesus Christ, lads, I can't get a sentence out. All of these S names, Savinho, Semenyo, Sambuca. Patrick in the house. Shout out to Patrick and welcome. Patrick says, it's kind of amazing, but Rodri leaving, apart from Haaland, Semenyo and Guehi, is this City squad that much better than what Maresca had at Chelsea? I'm unsure, and Anderson is already under serious pressure. Those are the questions. Patrick. We love it. That's what we're trying to find out. Because so far now, we've not obviously got to the very front, but so far, Donnarumma, not fantastic. Rooney has literally just been signed. Left back, Nori, Nico O'Reilly. Centre backs, Gvardiol, Guehi, Diaz, Kushinov, Hayes. I think their central defence is pretty solid. Right back, Rico Lewis and Matheus Nunes. In midfield, they've got Anderson, Nico G, and Kovacic. Is there anybody else? I'm missing in midfield? Then on the left, they've got Doku and Grealish. On the right, they've got Semenyo. Do they have anybody else on the right? And then I've put Foden in the 10 and Cherki. Where Cherki moves, where does Cherki actually play? What's Cherki's actual position? Because he moves around a lot. Is he a 10? I see him on the wing as much as I see him anywhere else. And then obviously up front, you've got Haaland and Marmoush. So, if we read through that, I feel like the front is good. I feel like the back is good. Maybe the right back, but certainly centrally. I feel like the wings could use some work, particularly the left wing. Semenyo's good, but I don't know who his backup is. Cherki is 10. That's okay. So I've put Foden and Cherki in 10. Let me see. What did you say? Mikado behind Semenyo. I think it is better. To answer Patrick's question, that's kind of what I'm looking at. If you take, to be fair, if you take Haaland, Semenyo, Guehi, yeah, maybe not by a whole heap, because those are important players. I do still think it's better. There's a lot more experience. There's a lot more maturity. I think there's a lot more know-how. So yeah, I think it probably is, to be honest with you. I think yes, it is better. But Anderson's definitely under pressure, Patrick, 100%. Footy Corner TV is back with us. Hello to you. Hello. All the lovely people in the chat tonight. The final boss says it's definitely better. Lucky says they're all names. Everyone's saying hello to Patrick and to Footy Corner. Everyone's saying hi. Shem says, so are we saying the Pep saw this coming, and like when Fergie left United, he saw the writing on the wall with the squad and left? No, I'm absolutely 1,000,000% definitely not saying that at all, because he was supposed to leave last summer and he stayed an extra year because we took Ruben Amorim. So no, I'm not saying that. You might. It is certainly a conspiracy theory, but certainly not for me. I spoke about this with Kate, actually, during last season. I had that Kate come on the channel, Kate from Kate and Jimbo come on the channel, and we spoke about it in great detail. And I said, at the time, in like February, March, I said that I think Pep would leave at the end of last season. So no, I don't think it's that personally. Ash says, no, Maresca is definitely the answer. He just needs his tools. David is asking if there's any Liverpool news. Not on this show, David. This show is all about Manchester City and Manchester City's squad. So no Liverpool news on this show. I did do one on Liverpool the day before yesterday, I think it was. But no news at the minute, no. But that squad, guys, am I missing? Do tell me, am I missing? The final boss, you've been fantastic with this. Am I missing anybody else in the midfield? Kovacic, Anderson, Nico G. Is there anybody else in the midfield? Because that is weak. Footy corners had to work. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. You should put in a complaint about that. I don't feel like this is strong, guys. I really don't feel like this is strong. Like, I'm just looking at here at some of the substitutes from the match yesterday. And Nico G come on for Kovacic. And then Rico Lewis come on for Elliot Anderson. That midfield, like, let's say, because we've taken Rodri off them and we've taken Reinders off them. So let's add in then Buwadi and Enzo. Because we've taken the players that are gone, so let's now add in the players we think they're going to get. Complaining and writing. Do. You should. You should. Now, there is that wee chap, Eshveri, the one I mentioned a wee minute ago. Now, he is an under 21. He is an under 21. So he's a young player. So I don't really think there should be like relying on him. Also, he's a 10. So he's not a midfielder. But we'll write him in. We'll just say, but he's a 10. He's not a midfielder. Buwadi. Where exactly does Buwadi play? Because, lads, I don't know the answer. Because I don't feel like he's back in the midfield. I feel like he's more attacking. Oh, he is, sorry. I apologise. He is a 6, okay. I apologise. I thought he played further forward. He does play at 6. Oh, and you told me. 6. Thank you, guys, because I was not up to date. So, Ash is saying Buwadi for Rodri. Yeah. So for anybody who's joining us, let me give you kind of where we're at. We'll do the synopsis and then we'll kind of get into where we think they're at. Are we worried? Are we not? So, on Manchester City's own website, on their main page for the men's team, they've got 30 players. 4 of those players are on loan. That brings them to 26. 3 of those players are under 21s, which means they've got 23 senior players. Obviously, we know Reinders is gone and Rodri is gone. That leaves them at 20. 20 senior players in the squad, okay? If we then say Savinho goes, Buwadi comes in, that still leaves them at 20. let's say Enzo comes in, that leaves them at 21. So they have 4 spots in their first team for senior players. If they wanted to buy more, they could take 4 more over 21s in. And then if we look at how that sort of translates across, if we take out Savinho, who we think is going to be gone, and Reinders, who's here we go, Rodri, who's here we go, and we put in Buadi and Enzo because they look the most likely that they're going to get. Ash says Grealish gone as well. He played in the match yesterday. He was on the pitch yesterday. And Maresca has been reported as wanting to work with him. So I don't know if Grealish... I think it's a maybe with Grealish. Like with Savinho, I think he goes. Do you know what I mean? I think there's very little doubt that he goes. But with Grealish, it's been on and off all summer. Maresca wants to see if he can reintegrate him. Maresca wants to see if he can work with him. And he played yesterday. So unless I see something a little more concrete telling me that he's going. But that's an opinion, Ash. That's an opinion that he's leaving. There's been nothing. Unless it's happened in the last hour, I haven't seen any report saying Jack Grealish is leaving. And he was on the pitch yesterday. So you don't think he will stay, which is fine, because maybe he won't. I think it's a maybe. So until I see something more concrete, I'm counting him. Now, the final boss is saying he only played to put him in the market, which can happen, because that's what I was hoping we were doing with what's his name? With Xerxes. I was hoping we were playing him so we could sell him. But it has been covered a number of times that Maresca wants to try and reintegrate him, that Maresca wants to speak to him, that Maresca wants to work with him. And Footy Corner comes up with the other point, who's going to take him. Now, Everton might take him back, so maybe it wouldn't be too hard. But until I see something that tells me in likelihood, so at the minute, I think it's 50-50. At the minute, I think he might stay, he might go. Until I see something that kind of leans me one direction, I'm counting him. But it's not impossible that he goes. But let's just say for what we kind of have, okay? So, goalie, Donnarumma, Rooley has just been signed as the replacement for Trafford, and Bettinelli. So goalkeeper, I'm not... I know, and it's not just based on yesterday. Anybody who's watched me last season as well, I'm not overly convinced by Donnarumma. I'm just not. I think he's getting on a bit, and I thought yesterday was dreadful. And I think it was actually a bit of a mistake from City to let Trafford go. I said that at the time. I think that's a mistake. And I said that before yesterday's match. But look, they've got this Rooley in. I don't know much about him, but they've certainly got the numbers. Look, they've got 3 goalkeepers there. That's kind of what they can do. Nori, Nico O'Reilly. They're pretty all right. I know Nico O'Reilly didn't have a great game yesterday, but I mean, for 2 left backs, that's not bad. They do also have that wee chap, Esprand, if they don't put him out on loan. They might not, but they've got at least 2 there at left back. I don't think that's a terrible quality. Personally, I think that's okay. Then centre-backs, I think, are fine. I think their centre-backs are actually the best centre-backs we've looked at. I think they've the best centre-back selection and depth and ability that we've looked at of the team so far. Gvardiol, Guehi, Kushinov, Diaz and Vito Hayes if they keep him. So centre-backs, I think they're cool. Centre-backs, I think, is fine. Right-backs, guys. You tell me, Rico Lewis and Mateus Nunes. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that... What do we think there? I mean, the fact that Kushinov was played at right back over both of them yesterday, does that mean anything? Is that just Maresca experimenting? Do we think that's strong? Could be improved? You can get at them. What are our opinions on that? Final Boss says that as well. I assume you mean about Donnarumma, but when I say it, I get cooked because I employ Sanchez. Oh, I just don't care. I just don't care. I think Emi Martinez is overrated. I think Donnarumma is off the boil. I think... And I had this conversation several times last season, actually on live shows, talking about Lomans, that I was delighted we got Lomans over Donnarumma. Kushinov was the only fit one. Are Rico Lewis and Matheus Nunes injured? Let's check. It's an investigation show. Normally I find the information and I bring it. Today we're investigating together. We're brainstorming. If Nunes gets injured, says the final boss, they are cooked. I can't lie. So do we not rate Rico Lewis? Bonker says Nunes is okay, but he's got flaws. They need a new right back. Okay, so the first one we're really saying so far, where they probably need maybe a little something, if we were picking out, is right back. Let's just say if they were going to upgrade, and All Boxed Up is saying dunno, because Rico Lewis plays multiple positions. Yeah, and a few of them can move up into the midfield as well. So we do have to just remember that. But as I said, we'll only put them down for one. Rico Lewis should be playing for Ipswich, says the final boss. Tom says, most City fans I know don't like Rico Lewis, don't rate him. Fairs. Is Ash still with us? Ash might have had enough of my nonsense. But if Ash is still with us, who is a City fan, let us know, what do you think of Rico Lewis? So, okay, we'll put right back, needs improved, is what we'll put. So they've got two players, but United have two players, you know what I mean? So needs improved is what we've put. And then we go to the midfield. Kovacic, Anderson, Nico G is not it. If they add Enzo Fernandez and Buwadi into that, do we think that's fine? Do we think that's good? What do we think of that? So let's imagine they do get both Buwadi and Enzo Fernandez on top of Anderson, Nico G and Kovacic. I don't think Anderson is very good at the defensive side of it, which is why I didn't want him for United, and I said that at the time. I actually feel like he goes forward better. I think he's more of an 8, I don't think he's a 6. So if you're going to have Buwadi, who does more 6 work, and Enzo can be quite defensively minded. I know he can go forward, but he's pretty good defensively. Does that make Anderson better? I mean, obviously 5 is better than 3. Obviously Enzo's a decent player. Buwadi, I just have not seen enough of him. I still think it's a step down from what they had last season. If they get Enzo and Buwadi, it does improve what they've got right now, but I don't think it's an improvement on what they had last season, if that makes sense. The final boss says Enzo was not good defensively. Fair enough. I was giving him too much credit. I was giving him way too much credit. Fair enough. You watched him a lot more than me. So Enzo, no defence. So they would only have then Buwadi, really, who is unproven really at this moment in time. Footy Corner says Anderson wasn't good at the attacking side yesterday. Anderson wasn't good at anything yesterday. See, every single person that was here all summer watching me say Elliot Anderson is overrated. He's decent. He's not great. He's not very good. He's decent. He's been highly overrated and overpriced. Watch this space. I'm not afraid to say I told you so. If I'm wrong, I'll say that too. But if I'm right, I'm going to tell you. So watch that space. If I did an overrated Premier League 11, Kovacic is the first player that makes the teams, is Tom. Oh, Tom back with a bang. He does very nicely at the start of that message say he's not on the wind up, but I went to the juicy bit. I skipped all the niceties and went straight for the juicy bit. Footy Corner agrees with me. Thank you very much. Everybody said, and I said it before he signed for City. I've been saying it the whole time. Random says Enzo is either a game winner or useless from what I've seen. Is there any Chelsea fans that can tell me better? Well, the final boss certainly says he's not good at the out defending. So, do we think then they would need another player? Even if they got Enzo and Buadi, would they need like fives? I mean, they do have space in their team. I don't think they would do more than that. I think that would be an okay midfield. I think it would be a hot and cold midfield, is what I think. I think it would be a midfield that would be good some games, bad in others. I think it would be on and off. I don't think it would be a consistently reliable midfield, is probably what I would say about it. Has the potential on a good day to be really, really good. Has the potential on a bad day to be like really, really bad. I think that sounds to me like a hot and cold midfield. When you're moving from like the reliability of a Silva, a Rodri, those type of players, and obviously previously Kevin De Bruyne, a little further forward, and then you're moving into that kind of a midfield. Like Enzo, you guys are saying can't defend. You are saying Kovacic overrated. Anderson, I personally don't rate. Nico G just seems to fall in and out of favour. Buadi, I think, is just unproven so far. Nobody knows. It's not going to be like super difficult. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's like, I actually think it's a bit like Elliot Anderson. I think it's decent. It's fine. I don't think it's really good. I don't think, oh no, how do you get through them? I think hot and cold is what I think of that. So I think hot and cold is what we're writing down there. Rob says, everything he knows about City, he's learning today. You and me both, Rob. We're learning on the live. We're learning live. And see, this is the thing, guys. If I don't know something, I'll just say I don't know. I'm literally just a fan. I'm not one of those people, as you know, with the great memories that remembers everything. If I don't know, I'm just going to ask somebody who does, and I'll trust them then. So don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, because I've got to believe you guys. I've got to take your word for it. What else are you guys telling me? You guys are running the show, really. I'm just reading it all out. The final boss says they shouldn't get Enzo. They should get a Kone or a Baleba type. Should they get a James Garner? He's a defensive midfielder. I mean, he's not Rodri, but who is? He's a very good defensive midfielder. Look at what we've got in Santos. Surprise package. Excellent. Really excellent. I think you're probably right, the final boss. Why spend all that money on Enzo that might or might not work? Do you know what I mean? Why not try and find a little bit of a gem? Maybe they're thinking Buadi's the gem and Enzo's the experience. Maybe that's what they're thinking. They're trying to get a bit of both. That could be where they're coming from. But yeah, I kind of get you, to be honest. Footy Corner says they should use Calvin Phillips. He's gone out on loan. He's already gone out on loan. It was agreed a week ago. I don't know, time changes in the summer, but he's gone on loan, like officially on loan for the season already. Bonkers with a theory. Malo Gusto could be on City's radar for right back and then bring Mateus Nunes into the midfield, considering they have him listed as a midfielder. Really intelligent shout there from Bonkers. They have Mateus Nunes on their website as a midfielder. That's his official position. Should they be getting a right back? Get a good right back and move Nunes up into the position they intended to get him for. There's a shout. Could they surprise everybody, go for a right back? I like that. I like that kind of thinking outside the box. The final boss says, unfortunately, City don't want to spend. Rose says the problem is Maresca wants Enzo. That's true. That's true. It's going to be about how much sway does Enzo have and how much are the club going to try and keep him on the straight and narrow. But I think that's a really interesting shout from Bonkers. Move Núñez forward and actually get a right back. Footy Corner. I heard today that Núñez was the best available right back in the league. What? Well, according to Man City's official website, he's a midfielder. Sorry to tell whoever that was, because I don't know. No idea like who you're referring to. I'm assuming it's a content creator. But on the Manchester City website, go to the men's squad, then scroll down to midfielders, where you will find Matheus Núñez with his little picture. So, make of that what you will. I mean, to be fair, they do have Nico O'Reilly in there as well, but you know. What do we think then? I think obviously then the right wing needs to be strengthened. So we think they need a right back. They need a right back, especially if Bonkers' idea is to work. They need a midfielder, at least, because they're either going to move Núñez forward or they're going to need two midfielders, but they could be Buadi Enzo, so we'll just say midfielder. And I think they need a left winger and a right winger. They need more than I realised. So on the left, they've got Doku and Grealish. I think Maresca seems to want to try and make Grealish work. And I don't know if that's a good idea. I actually don't think it's a good idea. I like Grealish a lot. I really rate Grealish. I don't think him and City is a thing. I just don't think it works. I think sometimes you have to cut your losses. Even though it's a new manager, I just think Grealish and City is like unrequited love. And Doku, I think most people think, look, decent, but probably not at the level that City would normally want. So I think they need probably to improve the left wing. So they either need to improve and or replace Grealish, depending if he stays or goes. Danny has joined us. Hello to Danny. Nice to see you. Yes, a DM specifically. A DM specifically. Correct and right, the final boss. Matthew in the house. Hello to Matthew, who says City will use Hayes as a right back and then could use Núñez forward. They also have Tyrone Samba, a promising box-to-box player. So let's say Hayes. So Hayes is a centre-back but can play at the right. Okay, so we'll put beside him that he can be a right back, but he's primarily a centre-back. And then move Núñez. So similar to Bonkers' theory, different execution. So whatever it is, either they buy a right back or they use Hayes as a right back, but they move Núñez into the midfield. I really do like this because I would never come up with this by myself, guys. So I'm actually really like, I love this. I'm with Rob. I'm learning things I never knew about City before. But that's what this is about. Like, it's a conversation. We find a topic that's interesting and then we have a chat about it and we spitball ideas. So I love this. Lucky says Enzo Fernandez is the best player in the world and the final boss says I want 130 plus. The price has been set. Yes, now to be fair, that's true, Matthew. So like what it looks like on a lineup sheet is not always what it looks like actively on the pitch. And like that, it becomes, yes, that is fair. That is fair. I still think there's problems on the wings though. What do you agree with me, disagree with me on the Doku Grealish thing? I definitely think a left winger seems important. It looks like, based on reports, it looks like Maresca wants to try and keep Grealish and get him back to his best. Doku Grealish on the left. it just doesn't feel like enough. It feels underwhelming, if I'm honest, on the left. It's fine. It's not like brilliant. It's not like, wow. Do you know what I mean? I don't look at either of those players and go, wow, that's really good. I'd want them. So I find that left a little underwhelming. I think in the 10 they're okay. Look, I think Turkey was probably the best City player on the pitch yesterday, and he only had a very small cameo. He was the first player, it was like the 60-something minute, he was the first City player I saw actually press an Arsenal player. I thought Turkey looked pretty alright. I like Turkey. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to do well. And like I said, I thought he was pretty positive yesterday. Phil Foden, I think, is struggling. Phil Foden is really struggling, I think. I don't know what they're going to do there. Maybe he'll find form as the season goes. And if not, they have that other young chap, Echeverry, I think is how you say it, who can also play in the 10 as well. So I think, look, they'll be okay. I think if it comes to next summer and Foden has had another difficult season, then they might have to look at that. But I don't think that's for this summer or this season. I think they need to just play that by ear at the moment. Which brings us to the right wing, which I really rate Semenyo. I know there's people out there that don't really rate Semenyo, don't think he's great. I really like Semenyo. I think he's a really good player. I'd have been very happy to get him at Man United. I really do like him. Again, yesterday he struggled against Calafiori. Calafiori was really, really, really very good yesterday. And Semenyo did struggle. But I think in general, I like Semenyo. I think he's a good player. And I know you guys said about Macedo, the younger chap. Macedo and Semenyo on the right. Yeah, so Matthew backing up what Huge told me earlier on. So on the right, I think, look, they're probably okay. I don't know much about this young man, Macedo, but Semenyo is obviously going to be the starter. I think he's very good. And both of you have now told me about Macedo. Final Boss says he reckons Semenyo could be upgraded. I mean, you're not the only person that thinks that. I like Semenyo, but you're not the only person I've seen saying that. I don't think it's as important as the left wing. It might be a case of right wing as something they look at next summer or in January, because they use January transfer windows, unlike my club. I think 10 is probably for next summer, and I think right wing they might see how the wee chap Macedo goes. But Matthew says Semenyo seems better on the left compared to the right, which let's imagine then if you move Semenyo to the left, you have to get rid of Grealish because you're not going to get rid of Doku, and then you need somebody else in on the right wing. So you need City need a winger, I think, because between the left and the right wing, what they've got is Doku, is okay, Grealish, unknown, Semenyo, who I rate but gets mixed reviews, and Macedo, who's a young player. So that's not phenomenal, is it? That's not great. And if anybody gets injured, if Semenyo gets injured, they've got Doku, Grealish and Macedo for their two wings. So I think they need to get... I think they need a winger, you know. I think they need a winger, which I wouldn't have said before we started this show. Bonkers says Doku is okay, but he needs the goals output and more assists. And that's what I mean. There's none of these players that I'm saying are bad, guys. I'm saying it as in like they're fine, they're decent, they're okay. I don't look at them and go, he's really good, he's great, I really like him, he's super positive. Like Doku, Grealish, Semenyo, Macedo. That's quite mixed, guys. And if one of them gets injured, or if Grealish gets moved on, they need at least one winger. Now, up front then, obviously, they've got Haaland, who did struggle to get into the game yesterday. And Haaland had a bit of a dry spell towards the end of last season, didn't he? I also think this is going to be Haaland's last season at City. That's purely my theory. It's not, I've no reports or anything. That's my personal theory. I asked DJ Milkshake about it a couple of weeks ago, if anybody remembers. I've been thinking about it for a little while. I think Haaland goes at the end of this season. So for this season, they've got Haaland and Marmoush, which I think is fine. Look, Haaland had a bit of an off game. That's fine. I don't think they need a striker right now this minute for this season. But I think by next summer, I think they're going to need a striker. So I think next summer, they're going to be looking at striker and they're going to be looking at 10. I think next summer. I think right now, this minute, to do well this season, I think they need to improve a right back or get a right back so that Núñez can move into the midfield. And I think they need a winger. Take your pick, left wing, right wing. They need a winger. Preferably one. There's a lot of wingers can go off both sides. And a DM. So I think they need a right back. I think they need a DM. And I think they need a winger. And they're looking at the moment like buying Buadi, who was considered a DM, and Enzo Fernandez, kind of. Have they been linked to wingers or right backs? I know, was there talk about, was it Pedro Neto was the other player they were linked to? Let's see. Maybe I'm not seeing the City transfer rumours on my timeline, so let's have a look. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, they have been linked to Pedro Neto. I don't see that happening. Given the price that's being quoted by Chelsea, I don't see that happening. But I do think they need one. Right, let me see what you guys are saying. So, Rose is asking the question, is this team good enough to challenge Arsenal? I don't think so, no. Personally, no, I don't think so. Not in my opinion. But I've been saying that for quite some time. I've been saying there will be a natural fall off when you lose the level and calibre of leadership, management, player on-field management that they've lost. So, I don't think they do challenge Arsenal this season. Personally. There's some people that do. But I don't see it. Now, maybe Maresca pulls off a miracle. Maybe they go and get a really good right back, a brilliant DM, a super duper winger. They've certainly got the money for it and they've got the space on their squad for it. They can. Maybe Maresca absolutely smashes it. Haaland scores the most goals he's ever scored in his life. Maybe. But based on what we know now, my guess is no, I don't think so, personally. Matthew says Grealish could play in the 10 and Cherky can play on either wing. I would buy Antonio Nusa. I think Nusa would be a great shout. I think Nusa's a really good player. Harold, who's a part of our community, has been telling us about Nusa since way before the World Cup. Then we saw him in the World Cup. I thought he had a good World Cup. Yeah, I think Nusa would be a great shout. He was linked elsewhere in the Premier League this summer, wasn't he? Was he linked to Arsenal? Who has Nusa been linked to? He came out then. I forgot about that. He came out and said he has no intention of leaving his club. He wants to stay where he is, and that the rumours were unfounded. He came out personally and said that. I forgot about that. I did forget about that. Let me see. Huge says, the problem is Haaland doesn't have anywhere to go. Barca want Alvarez and Madrid have Mbappe. Even Bayern have Kane and PSG have Dembele. I think if they have the option for Haaland, I don't know if Barcelona will be that devastated to get Haaland if they can't get Alvarez, personally. And Harry Kane's not getting any younger, but he wants to go to Spain. He said he wants it to be Spain. Rose, I'm not giving away any more information before Thursday on what I think. So Rose has a theory. Based on the series we've been doing of looking at the squads, Rose thinks, don't think City challenge Arsenal. Don't think United challenge Arsenal. Don't think Liverpool can either. Maybe Chelsea, ? So you guys let me know what you think of that. But as it stands, I think there's going to be a natural drop-off because they've lost some important figures. I also think their squad is not as strong as it could be. I think they do have places that they need improvement. I think it's going to be really important who they bring in this last couple of weeks of the transfer window. I think goalkeeping, Donnarumma looks shaky, but I don't know about Rooney. I think left back fine, centre back fine, right back looks shaky. Midfield, as in central midfield, looks a little bit wonky. The wings, if anybody gets injured, they're in trouble. And the left wing, I don't think looks particularly strong anyway. 10, I think they're fine. And striker, I think they're fine. But you can see now when you sit and look at it, how they were so overrun in the midfield. You can see how Arsenal beat them so convincingly yesterday because Arsenal dominated them in the midfield because their midfield is by far and away their weakest position. And they couldn't get forward then because Calafiori just had the run of Semenyo and neither Doku nor Grealish, despite attempting because they worked hard, weren't able to actually get any end product because of the quality. So if they can't shore up their midfield and find a way to be dangerous and get the ball to Haaland or Marmoush, it's not going to be a good season. So I think City have work to do in this last couple of weeks, and I think they might be a little bit over calm about their current situation. I certainly wouldn't be that calm if I was them, personally. Maybe it comes from winning loads of stuff in recent times, but I would not be calm. I think they need work. But guys, that is the end of the show. We've run over an hour. It's been a great conversation. It's been a really, really good conversation. Really good show. Fabulous interaction from you guys. Some wonderful faces, familiar faces back in the chat with us. Lovely to have you all back. Lovely to talk about how City are not impenetrable and how they may be in trouble next season. Apologies, City fans. We do have some really nice City fans in our community. We have a really nice couple of Manchester City teacups in our Teacup Castle community. So them guys are lovely. But obviously as a United fan, it's sensational. I have to take my kicks where I can get them these days. But thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you for participating. Thank you for getting all your comments in, for interacting with me, for, getting your opinions and the facts of the matter in when maybe I wasn't 100% sure. It's so appreciated. Massive thank you, of course, to Rob Always United, to All Boxed Up, to Solid Blake, and to the wonderful Patrick Lynch. Ye are all incredibly generous. I'm very, very grateful. If you forgot on the way in, please smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new and you're watching on the catch up or you've just not wanted to get into the chat. And I will see you all tomorrow, 12 o'clock. Have a good one.